I mean, what does one even say about this truly legendary picture that is just so astonishing and really just regained interest in World War II after a long time? About a group of 8 trying to recover one man, especially in Saving Private Ryan. The Saving Private Ryan D-Day 60th Anniversary Commemorative Edition is a poignant and powerful homage to the soldiers of World War II. This epic film is now presented as a 2-disc DVD set featuring all new, never before seen added value. Winner of 5 1990 Academy Awards, including Best Director, Steven Spielberg's unforgettable film achievements had a profound and lasting impact throughout the world. The story begins with World War II's historic D-Day invasion, then moves beyond the beach as it follows a squad of American soldiers who embark on a dangerous special mission. Captain John Miller, Tom Hanks, must take his men behind enemy lines to find Private James Ryan, Matt Damon, whose 3 brothers have been killed in combat. Faced with impossible odds, the men question their orders. Surrounded by the brutal realities of war, each man searches for his own answer and the strength to triumph over an uncertain force with honor, decency, and courage. Dang, that is what you call a synopsis right there. Holy smokes! I mean, it's just everything that was going on, especially just that opening introduction. What is that? Like when they're on the beat, when they're in Normandy, they're coming off the ships. Everything's just visceral, man. I mean, I'm just watching this and I'm just like, this is absolutely insane. These men went through pure hell in order to stop that bastard. You all know who. And I'm just watching this. So I'm just thinking, yeah, this was stuff that actually went on. This was just hell right here. It gets captured just dang near perfectly with just how much chaos is going on in the beginning. It's like when all those ships come in, I'm just thinking, oh man, this is gonna be a sight to see. And yes, it is. And then there's Captain John Miller and his group, where they're trying to go upwards and claim a strategic point, if I'm not mistaken, and they have to defeat a whole bunch of, like, it's like these Germans just have the upper hand. They're sending out all these men to their doom and everything to try and claim it, and you just looking at it, it's just the amount of just lives that were lost. You just think that guy could have been an attorney, that they could have been a mechanic. Just how they're trying to just ascend the hill, but all the lives get taken out with all the desperation and everything. Even freaking Hanks has his he's got a mirror, and he's got like his gun or whatever that was using to reflect, and he can determine what to do. I mean, just that alone, just the number of lives lost. I to this point, it's like, yeah, you've had film that portrayed it, but never of this just brutality, I guess. So just the shots firing, you just saw that chaos going on. It's just like, jeez, oh Pete. And then eventually, when we get to see all the is like saying, hey, you need to go fetch this private named James Francis or Franklin Ryan, I forgot which one, saying, hey, all of his brothers have passed on. It's like, yeah. And then it brings up some of the themes that are going on, but just and how they get to know each other, I guess, a little bit. It's like, at first, it's like most of them are indeed Miller's platoon, but then you start noticing, it's like, hey, they're starting to have some infighting going on. Yeah, this is definitely what Spielberg had intentionalized, and it just, I don't know, it just works so well in this movie, where I'm just thinking they are truly going out of the way to find this one man. Yeah, so, and it's like, yeah, the story here, it's it's like what you would see of saying, hey, what is worth the sacrifice? Is it the sacrifice of, like, when Miller was discussing, like, how he had to like when he sent like a couple of his men out or whatever it was to save a whole bunch of them. It's like, is the cost of two people worth the price of 10 or 12 or even more? It's like, I've had this happen at least 10 times, and I saved at least 10 or 20 times as many lives. So you really do start to question about the sacrifice of one versus many. And also, when there's some dissension going on amongst the group, they start to really question of like, this mother effer had better be worth it. He had better be something. So like, they were starting to question it, especially when there was this German prisoner of war, Steamboat Willie, and starting to question about the morality of everything. Is like saying, hey, you let him go. It's like, well, we can't exactly do anything. He is a prisoner of war, so they let him go, and he eventually comes back towards the end and injures John Miller, and it's up to this one guy Upton or whatever. He extracts revenge on him, eliminating Steamboat Willie, which I'm just like, okay, I was not expecting that. Holy smokes! It was just poignant. It was effective, and just what a transformation. And then there's like and then of course there's a question of like morality and what are we like fighting for and everything, and the cost of and then the cost of war. It's like we eventually get to see Miller. He's even though he is the leader, he's still a human being because he was a school teacher in Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken. So it just looks like it was very saying how you have all these heroes here and you have like all the propaganda movies, but this kind of just show like saying, hey, these soldiers are not like superheroes. They're all extreme patriotism. They are all here just to try and win a war underneath some direct orders of a general or whatever it was. So I just portrayed them as flawed human beings who have depth to them, and you can feel it like when they're talking about like what they did, how much they're putting a little pool of they're wondering like what was Captain Miller's job and stuff like that. So that was kind of funny, like 300 books. Yeah. Obviously, the ending sequence with the tanks, the Panzer tanks and all the Krauts and everything, like right there. I mean, it's an absolutely just visceral, brutal sequence. I mean, putting like trying to stop the tanks. The little wheels, whatever that's called, a continuous tread. So how they do that, it's like just like laying a traps down and engulfing people in flames, just having immolation happen to them, which I found to be like obviously it's like all these. Yeah, I think there's a word called Heinies, which is Heinrich, which is German for Richard, which a little history for you. Yeah, I mean just everything going. Just imagine how much that Spielberg had to just direct, just like whether if it's these people, the snipers in the high tower, or getting Vin Diesel and getting Matt Damon and everyone else to go up against with all the props and the miniatures and everything, and it was just a lot of stuff going on there. It is truly an epic finale, and I'm just thinking about it like, yeah, I mean, this deserves all the accolades, all the awards, just the whole freaking 94, 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, just for just being a truly legendary movie. I'm just thinking, geez, yeah, it's like all the members of the platoon went to a boot camp. Hanks was used to it, I think, in like previous roles or whatever. None of them were used to it, so they're like, oh my word, this is absolutely insane. Matt Damon didn't have to go about it because of him appearing later in the movie. So in order to breed some natural resistance that was only temporary, he did not attend any of the training. At first I thought he was going to complete unknown, but then Good Will Hunting was also released. So at the same time, he was a complete unknown and then a true known person, which is just interesting to think about, And yeah, I mean, Hanks has collaborated with Spielberg plenty of times. Yeah, I mean, obviously, for all the veterans out there, thank you for your service and Saving Private Ryan. Absolutely phenomenal movie. Period.